2300. I know it's not very mean, but hey, we'll give it a go. Right, let's bring the notepad over here because I'm over on a different one. I have M0JCF, M7NAJ, M7IPY, now M0WDT. Anybody else want to join the Cray Valley Top Band Net G0UKN listening?
Guy, you should be able to hear me, okay?
Okay, G0FDP, and I got Golf 8 Charlie Hotel Bravo with a huge amount of RF feedback. Yeah, G8CHB, I think that was you, Kieran, back to you. Yeah, sounds dreadful. What is it? Yeah, sounds like a complete sack of rubbish. Unfortunately, it sounds like you've got RF feedback. Quite severe RF feedback on it, Kieran. So something's not right there. Yeah, okie dokie. So G8 CHB. Anybody else want to join? Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel. Evening, Dave. Long time no speak. How are you?
A lot better than I was before. Nice to hear everybody on the air. I didn't get the full list, but you'll go through it, so hopefully I can write it down.
Okie dokie. Anybody else want to join?
Did you get me there, guys?
Yeah, got you, Frank. Right, okay, right. From the top of the list, it's M0JCF, who's on QRP running 817, M7NAJ, Nathan, M7IPY, Dave, who's got problems, M0WDT, Dave, G0FDP, G8CHB, and G6NRH is who I've got at the moment. So without further ado, and obviously a little bit late on parade because I had some issues, which I think is either I just suddenly was getting no power out at all when it was then running 60 or 70 watts, which was too much, and then I'm trying to turn it down, so I've just gone over to the 7300. Right, Mark, M0JCF, G0UKN in the group.
Yeah, G0UKN, M0JCF, running about 3 watts tonight. And, oh, it's all happened, hasn't it? Well, I'll tell you what, Guy, to start with, I didn't realise until I looked over my shoulder, I was receiving you on a 3-foot piece of wire, 5 and 9 plus. Now, this AR88 is incredibly sensitive, and I've had to back the RF gain. I'm switched to the aerial now, and I had to back the RF gain off for you. Everyone else, great, but for you, I have to back it off probably 40%, 30, 40%. To actually hear you, because obviously the AR88 doesn't have a product detector, so you have to juggle very slightly with the BFO. But yeah, I had that problems. I've also found out tonight somebody gave me their Kenwood 450D. No, is it? No, 440S, sorry. I don't know, 450D's the Suzuki. It's the, you see how it's going tonight, can't you? That's that's the 450D is the Yaesu. So yeah, he gave me a 440S with a problem where it looks like it's chucking out over 200 watts. And of course they don't chuck out over 200 watts. Anyway, I think that has messed up my Kenwood AT230 tuner. I think he owes me a tuner now. On top of that, The Code AR88 just was not playing ball tonight, partly because I found out the tuner's not working. I was going to use the KW160 on the AM section, but I was doing my daughter's exhaust pipe on her car today, so I started working on it yesterday. I'll go through it again on the next over because it's going to take me forever on this one. You've got quite a network tonight. But anyway, I'm transmitting on the 817, receiving on the AR88. I am actually recording this as well for what it's worth, for posterity and all that, for the club. And I'll hand it round now to Nathan. Now, if Nathan doesn't hear me, Guy, if you could pick it up and chuck it to him. So over to you, M7NAJ to take from M0 JCF.
Guy, you're a solid 5'9" plus as always, and Mark at the minute you're about 5'7" for me, but nice and clear. Good evening all, yeah, not much to report here. I'm running a new long wire, well, random wire. It was only a 15-metre one before. I managed to get 74 foot of wire up now, running to a 9-to-1, and I've got a 40-metre counterpoint on it, and an SWR of 1.1 to 1 on top band, so I can't complain at all. I won't hold it too long because there's lots on here tonight. And we're keen to get around everyone, as I know. So I'm going to hand it over to Dave, if you can hear me, on 7IPY. He did put in the Cray Valley WhatsApp group that he was thinking of moving, but he might stick around, so I'm not sure. So if you can hear me, then I'll hand it over to him. If not, Guy, I'll let you do the honours. M7IPY for M7NAJ with the top end.
I've got G3WMR as well, so let's take him. It was round to you, Dave, IPY. Are you with us?
The gang, G0 UK, etc. I've got a few problems here in that I found this awesome location that is line of sight to Crystal Palace, that I'm looking at right there. Belmont, I believe the transmitter just down the road. For some reason my car keeps jumping around, that's the noise in the background. And I'm also looking at Shooter's Hill, but I'm still in Dartford. I'm going to wait till the sun goes down and let you guys have a go round to see if my background noise here drops. I'm near a gigantic solar farm. I didn't realise until I pulled up. Hopefully you lot can hear me, but I'm having trouble hearing you because I've got constant fine noise here. That makes sense. I'll hand it back to our guy, G0 UK in from M7IPY.
Okay, no problem, Dave. Well, we're hearing you. You're sounding fine. Round to the other Dave, WDT.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Guy. Mike 0 WDT returning. Yeah, evening all, and I can hear everybody, even with the problems. Even Guy was just sorted out character earlier. I think I caught the end of that. You was about 5 and 4, but yeah, so that's not bad. We're on piece of correct. But yeah, I'll give a signal report on the next round. So quickly pass it over to, I think, Frank. Is 0 FDP.
Right now. Well, at the moment, I can hear everybody, but there's a lot of noise on my band tonight. 5, 8, 5 and 9. The first one, M7, MHJ, the 5 and 9, just on the limit of the noise. IPY, 5 and 8. The Dave, the bass, I could just about hear you, but you're about 5 and 8, just below the noise level. But no problem with M0 JCF. Mark, it's always a good figure. I can hear him, no problem. 5 and 9 plus there, Mark, no problem. And M0WDT, 5 and 9 plus 20, the loudest one at the most, apart from Guy. Guy, you had a bit of a struggle there. You were 5 and 9 plus 30 to start with. Then we dropped down to below 5 and 8. Then you had a job getting the signal out, but you got it back again now. I noticed, so it's okay there. Right, we might have a job here getting GH because I don't know, his signal was terrible when it came up, and I don't know, hopefully he's got it sorted out now. Kieran, hope you got your one sorted out. G6NOH, I did hear you when you come on, but I didn't catch the actual number of, well, as far as I know, whatever it was. But anyway, and I didn't hear GCWNR because I haven't heard the signals yet. But there we are. Right, I should give it over now to Kieran. If you can hear me, Kieran, GHB, and give us a bit of signal you did last time. Over to you, Kieran, from GZLCP. No, that sounds like Kieran's still having problems there, going up, I think. G6NRH, over to you, Dave.
Yeah, G0, also Delta Pound, hit Golf 6, November, Romeo Hotel. Yeah, all copy to him, mate. And I was up with Kieran, he was quite a strong signal to me. And God, the best one is Dave, N0 WDT. God, phenomenal signal. I don't know what you're doing, mate, but whatever it is, I want some. God, yeah, it's fantastic signal. You're looking at your window there, yeah? God, I'm running about 30 watts, allowing for a bit of loss in the current. So hopefully I'm getting out okay. I feel a lot better. I won't go into this and turn it into an 80-metre net. So I'll just say it's been fun. It's nice to get back into the land of the living. And we'll see how it goes. We've got a pretty pump. I think it was the next one, it goes to G3WNR. I'm not quite sure. I think I might have got the order wrong. Anyway, I'll quickly pass it over to Guy, and he can put me right. G0 UK and Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel.
Yeah, it is indeed through to WMR, so round to you, Frank. Good evening to you. Roger, from G3 WMR. Very good evening to everyone. So far I've heard Mark, JCF, Nathan, whose call sign I should know, but I haven't got it. I don't think it got mentioned in that over. Guy, you're a good signal as well. M7IPY is a crashing signal with me. M0WDT. David's a good strong signal as well. G0 FTP borderline. Copy up all as long as no noise comes up there, Frank, but you're the weakest by far. G6NRH, so glad to hear you. Sounding like your normal self, and I trust you're feeling a lot better than that evening when you called up on 4 metres when you were right down in the dumps, and understandably so as well. But you sound a hell of a lot better, so keep up the good work there, Dave. Well, I got a phone call right as the net was starting, which is why I was late joining in. And hopefully I won't get any more. But Dave, M7IPY has already heard this story that I mentioned the other night on 4 metres, but some of the others of you may be interested to hear that there's a story going around at a mobile station operating from his car up in the Midlands got given a police ticket the other day for operating from a lay-by, even though the engine was switched off, the keys were not in the ignition or anything, and the police argued that he was in command of the vehicle and he shouldn't be playing around with amateur radio, basically. And the story that I've heard is that Raynet has got very interested in it, and so have the RSGB, but I've heard no more about that since. But it's a salutary tale. I'm not sure who it goes to. Does it go back to Mark? Is there anyone else left in the sequence from G3WMR? Yeah, I think it's back up to me. So he was sitting in a lay-by with the engine switched off and out the keys in the ignition, and they told him he wasn't in charge of the vehicle. I think that's what they call taking the what's the name in it. Unbelievable. Okay, so yeah, they can get stuffed, can't they? So I hope the gentleman in question is going to take it to court. Yeah, that's a complete new one on me. Blimey. Okay. Well, no, I don't know, gobsmacked by that. I've heard some weird ones in my time, but I've never heard that one before. Right, let's see if there's anybody else coming in, and see if Kieran's back. And if Kieran is back, we will give him an over, and if not, we will start again from the top. So first of all, anybody else want to join the net? G0UKN listening? Oh, G8CHB, sounding like a proper radio amateur rather than, I don't know what. Okay, taking over, Kieran.
G0UKN, the G8CHB return. Yes, there's great apologies for all of that, but we'll have to try. We'll have to give it back, see what's coming out the other end, and unfortunately, there's no garbage coming out the other end. Well, good evening all. I sort of just want to see who's on the list now, but I haven't nothing to give any reports. I was literally spotting wires around. So it's an interesting project. I have to sort of delve into this thing and see if I can make any sense out of it in the months and years to come. It's always something exciting. Right, I'm running my truck, the IC7300 now, running about 20 watts into an NZ halfway, that's sort of breaking into, and it seems to be tuning up vaguely well for stuff, and so I think it's glad to hear that and good to hear this guy. So the most of that for first over, and it's pass it back to you. I think you're the top of G0UKN, G8CHB in the group.
G0CHB, G0UKN. Yeah, no problem, Kieran. Well, that sounds fine. So I think there's just going to be some fettling needed on that 847. It was just some RF feedback. I mean, to be honest with you, an end-fed half-wave is, unless it's got lots of good earthing, is likely to have RF feedback, and maybe that rig's just more it's more of a problem for it. Okay, right, I'll put it round to Mark, and we'll start the top of the list again. M0JCF, G0UKN in the group.
Yeah, G0UKN, M0JCF. Sorry, I always have to have a pause because I've got lots of switching to do. I've got to switch the receiver into mute. I've got to turn the antenna switch, and then just remember where I am. I've done it wrong before now, and I've been transmitting on receive, receiving on transmit, and all sorts. And if it ain't that, it's a terrible feedback. I know when I've got that one wrong. But interesting, yeah, the lay-by thing now. Now, that means, technically, are they saying that you stop in the lay-by, which is meant to be a safe place for you to do whatever you've got to do? It's not the hard shoulder, it's not up on the grass virgin act. You've stopped in a lay-by. So you've stopped in the lay-by, and then you turn off the engine, you take the keys out of the ignition, then you use your mobile phone. So what they're saying is now, even if you're in a lay-by with the engine turned off, having a cup of coffee, eating a Kit Kat, and probably scratching the lint out of your navel just for the sake of it. But if you're using a mobile phone, they can nick you. I'm not having it. I'm not having it at all. Now, obviously, we're allowed to use a microphone while we're driving. You can't use a mobile phone. You can use a microphone. Weird one, but the old bill can technically do you for not being in control of the car or undue care and attention and all sorts. There's loads of loopholes. Me personally, I gave up doing mobile 2 meters, 77s, that sort of thing. I just thought to myself, do you know what? I don't want to be caught out with that, with that nonsense. But a lay-by, which is, you can go into a lay-by and fall asleep. Does that mean that you're now dangerous sleeping or something? I think you've got overzealous coppers, and it is what it is. We'll all come out in the woodwork, won't it? And I remember, and it takes me back to around about 1986, riding a motorbike, and what they did, the Blackwall Tunnel, they'd closed off one lane coming from the north. So I was coming from my mate's house in Essex. I was on a motorbike, and I was coming through the tunnel, but because they closed off one lane, it was single lane. So what happened is Blackwall Tunnel has obviously got a single white line up the centre of it. So I, you know, because the traffic was at a standstill, but I still managed to overtake the line of cars in the tunnel, but on the left-hand side of the actual white line. So technically, I didn't cross the white line. As I came out the tunnel, one of the reasons the traffic was dead slow was there'd been a problem, but the old Bill were there. Anyway, they pulled me over and they said, right, we've got you for like crossing the white line. I said, I didn't. I said, and you couldn't have seen that I had. They said, well, you've come past that row of cars. I said, but I haven't. I was filtering in stationary traffic. I did not cross that white line. Anyway, this was the first week that they brought out the on-the-spot tickets. Do you remember when they went from, you had to, you know, go to court, or it had to go to court, and now they went to on-the-spot fines, as they were called. I don't know what the proper technical term for it is. Anyway, so they've given me this, they've given me, you know, an on-the-spot fine. And I thought, I'm not having this. So I went to the police station at Eltham. I handed them the ticket. Oh, that was a passing comment, was one of the coppers said to the other one, it's going to be a busy night with this new system, innit? I think what happened, they got the wrong end of the stick and they decided they could nick absolutely everyone for anything by issuing tickets. Of course, it didn't work like that. Anyway, I went to the police station and I said, I'm not happy about this. He said, well, what's that? I said, well, don't you know? He said, never seen one before, mate. I said, well, that's one of these new on-the-spot fines. He called the sergeant over and he said to the sergeant, have you seen one of these? Sergeant said, didn't know nothing about them. I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. I said, right, well, I want a court case. He goes, what do you mean you want a court case? I said, well, I'm not paying that fine. I want a court case because they said I crossed the white line. Then when we looked at the ticket, because he said to me, no, you didn't, mate. He goes, you jumped to red light. I said, what are you on about? He said, on the ticket, they put down, you basically jumped the red light. And when we checked the ticket, that's what they were doing me for, jumping a red light. So we've gone from crossing a white line that I never did to now jumping a red light, and there ain't no red traffic lights there. At least on the exit to the tunnel there isn't. So this is 1986. Maybe there was lights at the entrance, because there is now. But anyway, so cut a long story short, I told him, you'll have to get me a court case, mate, because I'm going to argue this one. And the copper went, I don't blame you. And that was it. Never heard any more. So there you go. There's my tale of weirdness when it comes to Road Traffic Act and all of that. I could have gone and rambled with that one on and on and on and on, but I won't. What I'll do is I'll hand it round to Nathan. M7NAJ M0JCF in the group.
All 5.9 plus. M7ICY is about a 4x4. GHC here is about a 3x3. I can barely hear him, unfortunately. I'm the same with Dave, G6LH, but it's nice to hear you on Dave if you can hear me. And yeah, regarding that ticket, that is absolutely farcical. That's not going to go anywhere, and I hope the person who does get the ticket does take that to court. You can't be prosecuted or charged for an offence that you haven't committed, in a sense that they would have probably used the registration of using a mobile phone whilst driving or whilst in control of the vehicle, which is fine if it was a mobile phone and if the engine was switched on, which neither of those facts are true. So that will, I can tell you now, go absolutely nowhere. And if it does, there will certainly be repercussions from that. I've certainly never issued anyone a ticket for using amateur radio. And yes, Mark, you're absolutely right. You can use an amateur radio while driving, but there are offences that you could be potentially stuck on for should it all go wrong. The main one being Section 3 of the Road Traffic Act, which is driving without due care and dangerous driving. But again, there is legislation in place that states that amateur radio users and police officers alike are exempt from the legislation to use microphones or radio by driving. Anyway, that's my 2 two pellets in. I'll hand it round to Dave and see if his noise has dropped. M7IPY from M7NAJ.
M7NAJ, Mike 7IPY returning. A quick assessment of where I am at the moment. Again, this spot on paper is magnificent. I want to everyone rest assured that I'm parked up legally by the side of a public road. I'm not operating my vehicle. The keys definitely are the ignition because it's a totally wireless ignition system here. I'm operating from Temple Hill in Dartford, which is a gigantic housing estate that I grew up on for the first 21 years of my life. And I'm at the very, very top of the hill. Unfortunately, I've got terrible background RF noise here. I can only make out later when he hands over to me. I can tell that there's a voice there, but I've got a constant 9 of noise here. So anyone that falls below 9, I can't hear them. So to give you a background, G0UKN is 5.9 plus, obviously say 5.7 here, so I can hear him above my noise level. Mark just about M0JCF. Let's say you're right on my noise level here. This isn't a diss, this is just what I'm finding. And Nathan, I can barely copy, but I can hear when he hands over to me because I recognise M7IPY within all the mush. Dave is 5.9 plus M0WDT. Our Frank, for the first time ever, G0FDP. I can't hear him at all, and he's normally a belting signal for me every time. Dave NRH, just about, he's about on the 5.9 limit on the noise. Not unsurprisingly, G3WMR, banging the windows out. He's 5.9 plus, so he gets over the noise. And Kieran, I can just hear in the background. I'm very sorry, I'm struggling here. Every time that I come on Top Band, I'm trying to find a new brilliant place to transmit from, or to work for. This on paper is magnificent, but what I didn't realise is that there's an OAP from Shelton Home, which bizarrely is one we might be moving into. It has got this gigantic solar panel array. Martin has mentioned on the WhatsApp group, wait till sunset, maybe things will change then, that's a good point. Which is exactly what I'm going to do, so I'm going to take a little back seat for now. You guys carry on, call me in when you want me, so I'm going to hand this round to our Dave, M0WDT from Mike 7 Italy Papa Yankee, hopefully you've heard of it.
Italy Papa Yankee, Mike 0WDT receiving. Yeah, all heard there, and you're a great signal, so no problem at all. Signal recall. Guy plus 20, Mark JCF plus 20, and Frank and Dave, Frank FTP and Dave NIH are all plus 20, and everybody else is 5.9. They're all good signals tonight. The band conditions seem strange tonight. Just the bass noise level going up and down, fading in and out. There's periods where the noise is very low and everybody's, crystal clear, and then times when the noise sort of creeps up towards 5.8, 5.9. I don't think it's sort of interference, people turning things on and off, because it's kind of like QSB type noise. It's strange, but there's actually less kind of noise on this band than normal, which I'm surprised at, because looking at the WhatsApp channel, everybody's saying there's high sunspot activity and the bands are all dead, but the top band local at least seems to be okay. Running the usual setup, long wire inverted L, although what I've done today is I've pushed the vertical up a bit higher, probably about 9.5, nearly 10 metres tall for the vertical section, but the horizontal section is just as normal, about 20 metres long to the house, so nothing terribly unusual, the usual setup, so I'm glad WDT.
Lovely signal there, you give me a 5.920, sometimes a bit over the 20 mark, but lovely signal there, no problem at all there. And the other one was 5.9, such a bit of sky, obviously Guy's going to be pretty on. And Kieran's come up now from 5.9 nothing to 5.10. 5.9 plus 6, so at least you come up, Kieran, and I can hear you much better now. Oh, Dave, the base, you have 5.8. You know, it's very difficult to read you. Can you go and move down to the AV part, which isn't not too far, and get a better signal from there? But I presume you're in your home location, which is down at Crayford somewhere, which is not very easy to get to. But there we are. Everybody else is about 5 and 9, just breaking the noise level on this particular radio this evening. I tried to get onto the top band net on the 1st of May, but when I tuned it up, oh dear, and a couple of new people moved in just down from where I live there now. I know they must have had something going. It was terrible noise, I couldn't hear a thing on it, so I thought, oh, can't do much about that. I wouldn't have even heard you, Mark, with the amount of noise I was getting from local neighbours. So I switched off altogether. But it seems a lot better tonight, at any rate. At least I'm not getting too much of a noise now. But there we are. I think I'm running around. What are we running around? It may not. Around about 12 watts. I'm using the G5RB, and I've tuned it in so that I can get as much as I can out of the antenna itself. Because the G5RB is a full-size one, but it's not completely full-size for the top band, really. But it does get out, that's the main thing. And normally, people can hear me. I think G3WR can hear me, but never heard me brilliantly, because it's about the furthest one away from me. But at least I can get out, that's the main thing. Because tonight, the actual noise on the level is bouncing between 8 and 9, and some of you are just under the 8 or just under the 9, but now I can get through, that's the main thing. Anyway, I can hear you. And now that Kieran's come up with his better signal, yes, Kieran, you're firing. I've got 10 now, no problem on that last day. I can hear you. It's just as good this as well, because before it was absolutely terrible. But there we are. Anyway, talking about cars and parking spaces, well, I'm just as well glad that I don't bloody well drive a car anymore now, because with all the things that's going on nowadays, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. I just as well not owning a big car. Even on my scooter I've got to be careful what I'm doing with that as well. But there we are. Anyway, enough for me about that. Kieran, GHD, better signal last time. Surely got a good signal this time. From G0FT. Hope you, Kieran.
The G0FT is G8 returning. And good evening everybody again, and I got something to report this time. Guy, you're 5.9 plus, Mark, you're 5.9, Nathan and Dave, you're 5 and 7. Dave just able to copy you home the noise, so that's fine. And you're WTT Dave, you're 5.9 plus, and Frank, you're 5.9 as well. So I've got all those on the stinky in the bag, and I've been able to copy everybody so far, so that's good. Yeah. So interesting stuff, cars and all that, but speaking of fun today, I gave my grandson of 11, I gave him a day out this afternoon, and we had a tour around HMS Belfast. It's the first time I actually took to walk around it. I found it absolutely fascinating. It was fabulous, you know. I was looking forward to seeing the radio room, and that was huge. But apart from that, it was a very, very interesting afternoon. Yeah, I was hoping to see a few CR100s and things like that in an exciting radio room, and I was just pretty much a bare room with the strength. Yeah. I felt like we should come together and give them some equipment to put in there so it was a bit better. With that, I'll pass over to you, Dave. That's the G6 MRH from the G8 CHB.
returning. You all copied there. Kieran, I suppose I should get some reports now. Guy, you're 5 and 9 plus, lovely signal. And of course, Mark, you're 5 and 9 plus plus. Nathan, you are sort of 5 and 4, unfortunately. To me, down in Welling. And of course, Dave, G7IPY, you're 5 and 7, which is perfectly readable, but just down on the noise or down on the audio output slightly. And of course, Dave, G0W8DT, you're 5 and 20. Lovely, lovely signal. I'm going to send a bill round because you're blowing out all the windows. But other than that, it's been fantastic. And Frank, I didn't actually get a report on Frank. Oh, Kieran was about 5 and... That's not very good to write it down. But I would say Kieran is about 5 and 7, which is great. I mean, that's still, to me, that's fantastic. And Frank, well, I'm not quite sure. I'll have to tell you when the next over, mate, because I wasn't quite sure. Anyway, with that, I'll quickly pass it over to you, so you can give us the report. G3WMR G6NRH, with apologies. Off you go, mate.
Roger from G3WMR. So I can hear myself coming through Derby, so I'm going to mute that. Right, that's muted. So far, I'm only really hearing myself and M7IPY coming through the Derby SDR, which says a hell of a lot for M7IPY's mobile signal. I guess it's some kind of helical, vertical or something on the back of the vehicle there, Dave. But you're coming through very well through the Derby SDR. Unfortunately, the Derby SDR is also revealing that there's a QSO rubbing sidebands with us all the time. Somebody else, another group, is on a very adjacent frequency, and it is audible and in the same pass band as we are on the web SDR. Right, yes, quickly going back to this incident that I was talking about, I'm pretty sure that I've reported it correctly what I heard, which from memory the guy was actually operating 6-meter mobile, which is why I mentioned it to Dave IPY on Friday, because he'd been talking about 6-meter mobile, and I think it was 6-meter mobile that this guy was operating from a lay-by, and I'm not privy as to where this lay-by was, other than it was somewhere not in this part of the world, and not involving any police force in this part of the world. The other thing was that I got the feeling it wasn't an on-the-spot fine. It was a notification of an intended prosecution or something, because it didn't sound like it was an on-the-spot fine. But the gist of it was that he shouldn't have been operating the radio, because he was alleged to be in control of the vehicle at the time, and therefore was in a position to presumably, no, I'm not going to even read into it too much. I wasn't involved, but we'll no doubt hear about it. I'm surprised it's not come up on any amateur radio social media, because it was being talked about, and you know, it's not for me to say any interpretation of what the guy's intentions were. It's clear to me that his intentions were that he was operating radio, and from my experience of operating radio when you park somewhere, the last thing you're planning on doing is getting in the car and driving along. It's not at all the same as operating, say, mobile, like in the days when there were lots of people on 2 metres all chatting away on the South London repeater and driving their cars. That's a totally different kettle of fish. And my take on that is that those days are over, and to be driving along operating amateur radio is not a particularly clever idea in this day and age. It might have been a couple of decades back when the traffic was less congested and that sort of thing. And if the regulations say you can still use a handheld microphone, then so be it. But I personally wouldn't dream of using a handheld microphone, even in an automatic car. I've always had a head microphone, which I cannot see. It's not in my line of vision to anything whatsoever. I cannot see my microphone. It's off to one side, parallel with my jawbone, and I can't see it even out of the remotest corner of my eye. So it's not. I don't consider that to be a distraction. And my press to talk was on a long, very flexible lead, using an old micro switch as the press to talk button, and it was such that I had to keep the micro switch held, but it was so small that it could nestle in the palm of my left hand at the same time as I was doing anything else with that left hand. And if I couldn't do anything else with that left hand, then the rule of thumb was you let go of it and you came back to it when you'd finished doing whatever you might have needed to do. But I don't like the idea of Vox for mobile, because you never know what you might say in a moment of stress that would go out over the air. Anyway, keep looking out for this story, guys, because as I say, I was told that it's been brought to the attention of Raynet and the RSGB, so I would say that both those organisations have got a good reason to make sure that the situation is clarified. That's probably the best way of putting it. It's not a case of arguing anything, it needs clarifying and being assertive about what we are allowed to do and what we aren't allowed to do. So that's enough. Otherwise, everyone's good signals. Kieran's a bit weak and Frank FDP's a bit weak, but everyone else has good strong signals here. And as for this Temple Hill thing, I'm going to have to drive up Temple Hill and see which part of Temple Hill you can see Crystal Palace and Shooters Hill from, Dave, because I'm only familiar with their car park where the fish and chip shop and the convenience store, etc. are, and I don't think you can see from there, but I suspect there might be a very slightly higher bit of Temple Hill further back. I've got a friend who lives right at the bottom of Temple Hill, and I'm familiar with the drive up Temple Hill from the very bottom. I'm talking down towards the river as well as coming out of Dartford, and I'm aware that there is some residential parts up on the very top, but I've never driven up there to see what the view's like. But I will do in future, having heard you mention it, Dave. So, I think last time a guy took it up after me from G3WMR. Yeah, G3WMR, G0 UK and returning. Right, okay, and yeah, just looking at Derby, funny enough, I did hear the other stations on the frequency. Oh, there I'm listening to myself on Derby. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. And there is the other station a few kilometres down.
So we'll probably cause them some interest when we move over to AM. But yeah, we're both they're strong, and I'm probably nearly as strong. What am I registering? I'm S7. I could hear you on Derby, Frank, without any problems as well. But there's quite a bit of QSB. But I guess, you know, it's still daylight at the moment. So I'll go around and do some reports. JCF 5 and 9. NAJ 57, IPY 57, M0WDT 59 plus, FDP 59 plus, CHB 59, NRH 59, WMR 57. So that's the reports on my side. Yeah, I don't suppose there's any point in speculating on what went on with that particular incident. We might find that the guy was a bit lippy, and then they gave him a ticket or whatever, but I don't think it'll stick. But there you go, let's wait and see what happens. There might be all kinds of circumstances. Who knows if it was a sensible place to be parked. And there you go. Right, what else was I going to say? I'm sure there was some other stuff I was going to come up with, and I can't think what it is now. But yeah, I haven't operated mobile in years. Mostly because when we got rid of the Volvo, and the Volvo I'd found a route through to get nice decent cable from the battery to a set of power poles, and I could put the 857 I used to own in, and I had a Z11 Pro in the boot, and I could run HF quite happily in the Volvo. Since we've had the Mondeo, I so rarely drive the Mondeo, I just haven't bothered. I could put something in the Triumph 1300, but it might just get nicked. I've got an FT 227 Memorizer FM 2-meter rig from the 70s. Maybe I should put that there, or indeed, maybe I should put the Cray Valley RS and the T28 in there for a special occasion for this net. I just don't have a suitable mounting thing for the top band whip. I've got a top band mobile antenna, but I've got nothing sensible to attach it to. So we'll have a play at some point and work out what we're doing. Okay, what is the time? Let's look at the time. Okay, the time is coming up to 9 o'clock, so we'll go one go around more, and then we'll try going around a couple of times on AM and see what's happened. The signals aren't great tonight, and you know, the noise levels are high, and I think it is probably all solar activity, meaning the noise levels are high. I'm seeing a higher noise level than I normally do, but we'll give it a go once around on AM after this round and see how it goes. And those who don't want to have a go at AM, it gives them a chance to have a final over, because we're coming up to the hour anyway. So I'll pass it around to M0JCF in the group at G0UKN.
G0UKN, M0JCF. I forgot, Nathan, we've got an expert in the group. Thanks for that and the clarification. Yeah, I'm sure you're right, but as Guy said, there might be other circumstances around it. Checking Derby myself, I can't see myself on Derby. Guy, you were by far the strongest on Derby, and Frank was the first one I picked up when he mentioned Derby, so I balled it up. And because I'm videoing this, I've done a quick shot of the screen as well of Frank and yourself, and anyone else that comes up, you'll be in shot there as well. What was I going to say? We had, oh yeah, the 1st of May. Yeah, the 1st of May net, which was a bank holiday. It was just me, Dave NOW, and Frank. You was on for a while, weren't you? And then it was just me and Dave for for ages and ages, mainly on AM, but there you go. And the other thing was you said about the Belfast. Do you know, I worked the amateur radio station there years ago, GB2RN, but I believe it's gone, hasn't it? And do you know what, they operated a couple of times as well out of the old Chelsea pensioners place up the road in is it Kensington? And yeah, they operated out of there for a while as well, but I don't believe GB2RN operates anymore, do they? Reports, because I never gave them: Guy 5 and 9 plus, Nathan 5 and 9, Dave IPY 5 and 9, Dave M0WDT 5 and 9 plus 60, Frank FDP 5 and 9, Kieran GHCHB. You're 5 and 9, and you was 5 and 9 to me on the AR88 the first time round as well. So yes, it wasn't as good as you are now, but yeah, it is what it is. As you say, you've got to sort it out. Dave G6NRH 5 and 9 plus, and Frank, you're 5 and 9 plus as well. I think I've given everyone your reports. Yes, I have. So without further ado, I'll let you go round and see if we can see what we do with AM. So M0JCF passing to M7NAJ in the group.
Yeah, over to you, Dave. Yeah, M7IPY, are you with us? G0UKN? I think we might have lost Dave. Round to the other Dave.
WDT receiving. Nothing really more to add. The conversation has been said already, so I'll pass it round to Frank, SE0FDP from M0WDT.
We're going to try the AM side with you, Guy, when you come up, but it's now nearly at 9 o'clock, but okay, I'll switch it over now to Kieran. I don't know whether Kieran's going to do AM, but he might do. He's not a bad signal for me tonight, not too bad at all, signal at all. Over to you, Kieran, GHCHB, G0FDP, over to you, Kieran.
GHCHB, turning, just to say yes, I'll go one round on AM just to get a report and see how it's behaving. I'm not expecting greatness, but it'd be nice to actually get one report, so I'll give that a bash. But I'll say 73 small goals were leading it at this stage, and I'll have to say come back to tomorrow. So it's over to you now, Dave, with G6NRH from GHCHB.
GHCHB, G6NRH returning. You're all copied there, Kieran, and yeah, good luck to all that are leading, and hopefully I'm going to try it on the AM and see how I get on. I can't see it's going to be that different than usually when I'm on. So I'm using the IC7300, so I feel like a bit of a cheat really, but let's see how we go. I won't hold it, we'll pass it over to you, Frank. G3WMR, G6NRH.
G6NRH in the group, G3WMR. Yeah, I hope Dave RPY has ceased transmitting for good reasons and not for any reasons as being bounced upon for operating a radio HI. I think he did say that he was possibly not going to stick around. Anyway, Guy, I'm not going to hang around for the AM because I do have to do some telephoning usually around about this time. So I'll cock an ear to the receiver when I'm not on the phone, and but I won't join in any further. So very good night to everyone, and thanks for a really good net with lots of people this time, which is brilliant. G0UKN and the group G3WMR. Cheers. Yeah, G3WMR, G0UKN. Thanks so much for joining.